Hello, everyone, and welcome to your retrograde season tarot reading. This is going to be a powerful 3 months, May, June, and July. So we had Pluto go retrograde on April 25th, and Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, and we have the Scorpio full moon on May 6th or 7th, just depending on where you live in the world. So this Scorpio full moon that's happening is really opening the gateway for these retrograde energies. And Pluto going retrograde, it is all about transformation. And on top of this, we have 3 eclipses going on during retrograde season. I've already done a video for the Scorpio full moon energies. I've linked that below, and I will be doing an eclipse season video after this one to give you more insight about the eclipses specifically. But for this reading, we have the amethyst representing Pluto, the selenite representing Saturn, the rose quartz representing Venus, the green aventurine representing Jupiter, the bonded quartz representing Mercury, and the blue gold stone representing Neptune. These are all the planets that are going to be going retrograde through May and then into June. So May, June, and July is going to be the most powerful time of this retrograde energy, but some of this energy does not taper off until later in the year. So I'm going to get right in to the reading, and you pull cards, and then we will look at each one of these retrogrades. It's a time of clarity, insight, returning of the past, because, Pluto, transformation, Saturn, karma, Venus, relationships, love, Jupiter is returning blessings. Mercury is the returning of the past, the unfinished business, closure, second chances. And then Neptune going retro is all about disillusionment, really coming into the truth of things. And then these eclipses, oh my goodness, it's all about shocking insights, things changing very quickly and abruptly. Okay, let's see what is opening up for all of us with this retrograde energy. We have the pathway, direction, purpose, change. And, this would be a perfect card to sum up retrograde season. What must go is going to go. What's owed to you is going to now come to you. Lessons that have not been learned are going to hit you double hard so that you can complete them. Blessings from efforts of work past now coming in. Second chances with Mercury retrograde, where we need to be disillusioned or get very real with ourselves to allow this change and this transformation to its full potential, happens with Neptune going retrograde. And we are all finding our path through this retrograde season. Next out is the Secret of Camelot, the Authority of Spirit. Many of you, there's activation to your crown chakra, and you are going to be much more in tune with the higher realms. And that also makes sense because Venus is going retrograde through Gemini, and this is about coming into deep insights and clarity and understanding about our relationships, about our connections, about everything that we have been through. And so right here, a lot of insight playing out over May, June, and July for you. And lastly, we have healing the earth, love, humility, and respect. So healing the earth means a deep healing to you. And we do have Chiron going retrograde on July 11th. And that is when a deep healing cycle begins. And that goes from July all the way till the end of December. So, here's the change up, everything that needs to go to make way for the new energy coming in, blessings, and then all that has been lost, the deep healing coming in to complete many cycles of the soul, as well as larger cycles of the soul, because Saturn is going to slip back into Capricorn and be retrograde until September, and then in September goes direct, does not move back into Aquarius until mid-December. So this right here, Saturn, is the like completion, the wrap up of a lot of old energy, old light codes that you've been working with that no longer are viable with the energy moving forward into 2021. So this is a profound time of change as well. Okay, let's pull some cards specifically for each retrograde now and how that's impacting us. So Pluto and the major transformation. So Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn and will not be direct until October 14th. So between now and mid-October, there is a transformation taking place for you. Many of you, this could be around your career, or just your status, your legacy, what you're known for. So there's major transformation around you specifically, as well as your career. And coming out with that is the Fool, brand new beginning. So many of you have been wrapping up a cycle in the career sector. And that means like a changing of job or changing of career entirely now, because this is general. It doesn't have to specifically just relate to 10th house energy. You know, you all have individual natal charts that are very specific to you in your journey. So this here, there's been major work, major completion coming in this area of your life. So something has ended or will end over the course of these next 3 months. But that's truly making the way for brand new energy, a brand new you with the Fool coming out. I love it. This is like a big completion of many things you've been working on. Ooh, and with the Hanged Man coming out to pair up with this, where you have been blocked, where you have been unable to break through. Finally, you are having some relief with that. Finally, with this Hanged Man, it's like you're gonna, what's been blocking you is gonna get out of the way, because you're coming into the insight. All the experience is transforming into wisdom, which allows you to make different decisions, which allows you to see things differently. So where you've really been blocked, career or some other area of your life, that is coming to an end, and brand new energy coming through. A new cycle starts. All right, under Saturn. Saturn is currently in Aquarius, just got there, but now is going to retrograde back through Aquarius and slip into Capricorn in May, and then again is retrograde until September. Saturn is karma, our life lessons, balancing the scales. So where you have balanced your karma, you've learned your life lessons, and you are owed some, Saturn's going to come in and true up all that energy. Now, this goes both ways. If you know, we haven't been paying attention to what the universe is telling us, what our choices are trying to tell us, you know, where we're blocked, where we are challenged, that's where we're growing. If we've ignored that, we've pushed against it, then when Saturn goes retrograde, that comes down heavy and hard, because it's like this lesson has got to be learned. You've got to complete these soul contracts, these karmic contracts, new energy coming in for everybody. So it's very intense, and you know, those people who have taken, manipulated, they're about to get a big wave of their own energy back. Now, those who have been on the path, been striving, been doing the best they can with what they have in the moment, growing, expanding, you know, just truly being the best they can be in any given moment. That doesn't mean perfection, the best they can be. There is beautiful balancing of energies, lots of wisdom springing forth. And with the Ten of Wands, heavy burdens being lifted off of you, as well as many soul contracts, karmic contracts finally coming to an end, being completed. And what comes out with that is the movement of swords, which would be the Knight of Swords in a standard tarot deck. So you are coming into clarity, to understanding, and finally quick movement forward where you previously felt stuck, burdened, weighed down, like, oh, is this energy ever going to pass? Is there a way forward for me? Or is this my fate? Is this the end? No, it's time for retrograde season. And that's where everything starts to change. That this is so karmic, okay? And this is not just about each and every one of our lives. This is, you know, in the worldwide energy that's going to be shifting within the world. The big changes, a lot of things coming to light. Old paradigms are being torn down, and this is a powerful time. So as it relates to you, this is about big soul cycles, soul contracts, karmic contracts, finally completing, which is allowing you to move forward where you were blocked, where you were stuck. That's where the transformation is coming in. All right, under Venus. Now she is retrograding through Gemini, and the day she drops into retrograde is May 13th, but on that very day, Mars enters Pisces. So that's the divine feminine and divine masculine energies. And so with Mars and Pisces, that is soul awakenings. With Venus in Gemini, as we retrograde, that's where we stop and reassess our journey and where we've been and what we've been through and what it's taught us and how we're better for it, even though some of those experiences were not the best experiences, how we are just so much better for it in this current moment and what you are about to transform into. There's forgiveness that's going to fill your heart where you've been hardened, where you have anger, where you have frustration, where you have a lot of pain against those who have hurt you, who have harmed you. This is romantically, this is friendships, this is family ships, this is all relationships, okay? Because Venus is the ruler of Libra, and Libra is the 7th house, which is all about your relationships and your connections, very significant ones. And so it's time to really reevaluate, and where you've been hung up and confused, finally answers and insight coming in, and when you receive that, you can move on and you can heal. So Venus goes retrograde on May 13th through Gemini, and then it goes direct on June 25th. So this May 13th through June 25th is a powerful time of relationship energy, as well as unfinished business and you know, relationships of the past returning into the present, whether physically or just flooding your emotional body and your mental body. If physically, it could mean closure, or it could mean a second chance. If it's just flooding your mental body, your emotional body, that's for healing, for closure, for completion, and you're going to get all the understanding and the insight, okay? So with that, look at that. We've got justice coming through, major balancing, and the Four of Pentacles. Okay, where you have felt that you don't know, there's secrets, things are being withheld from you, things have been very unfair, unbalanced in relationships. Finally, as Venus is retrograding, that understanding is coming in. But not just with Saturn and Jupiter here, Venus is joining them and bringing forth karma, balancing the karma. So again, it's who you are and what you've been is what's going to return to you. If you are somebody in relationships who is genuinely giving and open and sharing and caring and honest, and you don't feel that you get much of that back, you're going to get a surge of that energy in your life in some specific connection, or there could be multiple new connections coming in for you, friends, romance, okay, where you've felt blocked in that area, you know, there's new connection coming in. Some of you, Venus does also rule Taurus, which is 2nd house energy. This could be around money, because we do have career over here. So some of you where there's this struggle with money, You're coming into the idea, to the understanding. The way is opening up. The path, you see the path forward for shift and change in the career sector, in the financial sector of your life with this Venus retrograde. This is where it's like work smarter, not harder, okay? So major karmic balance coming through with this Venus retrograde. I did not anticipate that. Okay, so now next up is Jupiter. Jupiter is going retrograde on May 14th and will not return direct until September 12th. So Jupiter is going to really bring blessings that are owed to you, things that you have lost, that have been stolen from you, that you have been denied, okay, that have been taken from you. All of that energy is now going to return to you in a new form, and Jupiter is going to see to that during this retrograde. So again, the hot spot is May, June, July, but with Jupiter, this return of energy can go all the way into September, as well as Saturn here. So Jupiter is returning all that has been lost, but it's going to be in a new form. So let's see what that new form is. Wow, there it is, karmic energy with judgment, major karmic balance coming in during retrograde season. And these eclipses have a lot to do with that, but again, I'll do a separate reading for that because that's an energy all on its own and deserves its own platform. All right, and next to that, ooh, Five of Pentacles, exactly what I just said to you. All that has been lost, taken, denied you, is now going to come to you in a new form. And some of you, this may be the original form, just if it's through a person. It just depends on your personal situation, but that's what Jupiter is doing for us, is returning that which has been lost, is stolen, denied, to us now. And so this feels very blessed energy. All right, next up is Mercury, and those are our favorite retrogrades, right? When Mercury goes retrograde, communication gets muddied. There's electronic glitches. You've got to make sure you are backing up your computers, save your work, and save important conversations for after Mercury is done retrograding, because it can be very hard to communicate. Now, Mercury goes retrograde on June 18th in Cancer, and this is all about unfinished business. So from June 18th through July 12th, when it goes direct, this is all about unfinished business. This is when the past really comes back to you. And we see that playing out with each one of the planets so far prior that are going, retrograde before Mercury joins the party. And Venus will only be retrograde for a few days with Mercury. She goes direct. She leaves the party, okay? And Neptune and her are not connected because she's already out of the game when Neptune goes in. All the insights and clarity around relationship issues specifically are going to play out, while she is retrograde mainly. And this Neptune energy that goes all the way to the end of the year, that's more about yourself and situation. It's a much higher perspective, whereas this is more relationship based, okay? So Mercury coming back from the past. What is Mercury bringing? Mercury is bringing the devil. Oh goodness. And what else is Mercury bringing? The Six of Swords. Excellent. We like that pairing. That was a little nerve-wracking with the devil energy, but things that we have been obsessing over, unable to move past, unable to move beyond, finally, we are getting the closure. We are getting the understanding. There is a return for some of you of different people, different offers, different opportunities, where you feel like you missed out on the past. This opportunity is looping back around. You see it, you know, in all the other planets before. We've got justice and judgment. That is like the two strongest about karmic energy. Major balancing, what was taken, what was lost, returning to you, where you've been stuck, where you've really been held back, the solutions, the answers, the way forward being presented. Now remember, even though all this energy is playing out and helping us out, it's truly up to you to take the initiative and make changes, accept things you must walk away from and leave behind, you know, whatever it takes for you to reach your highest potential. It's truly up to you. And these are the energies, May, June, and July, a powerhouse of time to really make these changes, because the universe is helping you out. There is so many blessings and magic sprinkled along your journey over these next 3 months because of these planets going retrograde, and Mercury is no exception, really freeing you from some heavy restrictive energy and major clarity and insight. All right, now here we are with Neptune. Neptune goes retrograde on June 23rd and does not go direct until November 28th. So from June 23rd all the way till the end of November is a time of disillusionment and becoming very self-aware. And sorry, my cat's getting into stuff, taking advantage because I'm distracted doing a reading. Becoming very self-aware more than anything else, because Neptune is in Pisces. That's the home. That's home base. And where you need to really see yourself in a different light, for the good or the bad, it's going to happen. It's coming in. All right, yeah, look at that. Death. What must be left behind is going to be left behind. And death is the representation of Scorpio. And, you know, we do have Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, plus the Scorpio full moon coming in. And that's going to allow us to have that purge, the ending, the things that must be left behind. And I am sorry, guys, I have to go to my cat really quick. He is eating my paper towels, and paper towels and toilet paper are like gold right now. Sorry. I'm like, no, kitty, do not eat my paper towels. My paper towels, toilet paper, he loves it. So sorry about that distraction. Okay. Yes, so this coming here with the last planet going retrograde, Scorpio being the energy that opens all of this up through Pluto and then that Scorpio full moon. Yeah, the first part of May or leading up to May, there's been endings and they must happen. It must be, you know, a total completion of energy so that all of this new can come in. And what do we have? Yeah, all that has no viability, has no real long-term potential, you know, where you're always just going to be spinning your wheels. You're going to come into full awareness of that in your life as well as in yourself, and the changes that need to be made. You are absolutely going to make them. So for Venus, let's pull a couple of cards more about, you know, the relationship energy that's coming through. All right, separation. Sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of the future. So there is going to be some reconciliations, absolutely. And this is friends, this is family, this is romance with this Venus retrograde energy. And next out is the chaser. Chaser and codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issues. So, you know, if you've been the one that really tries to keep relationships together, tries to make amends, always build a bridge and you aren't really getting the reciprocation of that. Through this retrograde energy, as your experience it transforms into wisdom, you are no longer going to be in that space. Your energy is really balancing out, and you know your worth and you know your value, and you don't feel like you need to chase or beg anybody to be near you, to be in your life, to give you a chance, you know, to care, no matter who they are. Being very strong and independent in self. And so many of you who have had really bad falling outs and separations with relationships that are coming back in, the reason for that was to really help you grow much stronger. Okay, and look at this, the palm tree: stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, flexibility. This is what these heavy relationship situations were about, really leading you into a stronger place, a lot of evolution. All right, let's look at this Capricorn and this Pluto and Saturn energy, because you know, Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter have been sitting in Capricorn all together, and now Saturn is finally breaking away and moved into Aquarius, but is returning back to his brothers, Jupiter and Pluto. So I'm going to pull a card for each of them because this energy is all intertwined with these three. Okay, we have, ooh, look at that, Jupiter in Sagittarius. That's Jupiter's home, and this is principle. So this coming through is, you know, one of the lessons that you've been working on that's now coming to a completion. And this is where you are really true to yourself, where you follow your inner compass no matter what other people are doing or saying, no matter how other people feel about it. This is being 100% true to yourself, but this goes deep down to the soul, where there's morals and values involved. And so you've really been pushed to your limits in certain situations that you've gone through, and you have learned, okay? And now you're about to evolve and really expand beyond all of those temptations, because many of you could feel like, you know, I've been the bigger person. I held my tongue. I didn't seek revenge. I didn't do XYZ, yet these things have happened to me. Well, now is the time of, you know, everything rectifying, everything balancing out. And those of you that walk the path, you get the blessing. You know, gain the evolution and the wisdom. But those who were doing the hurting, taking advantage, manipulating, not following, you know, the blueprint of their soul, they get the flip side of that coin. They become disempowered. They have a lot of shadow energy that they have to face, kind of what feels like it's all at one time for them, raining, like, you know, if it rains, it pours type of energy. So those who have been true to self, Jupiter in Sagittarius, that's higher spirituality, higher learning, beautiful blessing through this transformation in Pluto, blessing from Jupiter and Saturn, balancing the karma out. All right, next is Mercury in Virgo. Caution. So this being an energy that you were working on and now, you know, coming to an end, completing, you have probably been struggling, going back and forth between your head and your heart about a lot of different situations. And this could be where your heart has overruled the logic of your mind, and you've gotten burned and you've gotten hurt, and you haven't heeded the warning of your soul around certain people and certain situations. And it's because you really liked somebody, or you had an emotional attachment to them, or you really wanted a certain situation to work out and to unfold for you, and you did not listen, you know. And now all of those times where that happened, there's this beautiful transformation taking place in you now. And these mistakes that you've made in the past, you're not going to make them again moving forward after this retrograde season ends, because you've completed this lesson. We see it in your cards. You have the Ten of Wands, you have justice, you have judgment. You've completed that. And you know, there are obviously some who have not, but I doubt those people are very interested in the tarot, okay? Those who are drawn into the tarot, you guys are more spiritually gifted and inclined than you realize. Just your desire and your attraction towards the tarot let you know that there is an element of your journey that is very spiritual this lifetime, and you're meant to have a lot of awakening throughout this journey. You've completed major lessons here. All right. Next out is the moon in Aries, protection. And look at that. Through it all, you have learned how to become very independent, how to assert yourself, how to stand your ground, how to not let people walk on you, regardless of soul bond or emotional attachment. You've grown very strong and wise through this cycle. And, you know, some of you, this goes all the way 3 years back just because of Saturn. And Saturn's retrograde is really bringing forth all of the understanding. And many of you, there are going to be situations that come into your life that feel very similar to what you've been through, or it could involve the same exact person, but this time around you are actually going to make a different choice, which creates different outcomes for you. All right, so let's pull some cards to look at this Mercury retrograde and just go a little bit deeper about what of the past is returning, what unfinished business needs to be, you know, faced and looked at. Sorry, my cats are just going nuts. If you can hear them. If you can't, I hope you can't, but if you can hear them, I'm so sorry. Bad gatos. All right, Mercury. We have a positive energy shift. We have a creative fire. Ooh, so with creative fire, where you have had creative ideas, felt very inspired for certain projects or different changes to make in your life. But, you know, the timing was off, or you didn't feel you had the right resources, just whatever it was. Now all that energy is returning to you, that inspiration, along with the mental and emotional and spiritual fortitude to see it all the way through this time. You know, you may have had some energies you had to work through, some karmic contracts you had to complete before this project inspiration could come to the forefront of your life and, you know, be part of this very beautiful positive shift. And now look at that. Hard times, you are coming out of hard times, and you know, Mercury going retrograde is bringing those answers, is bringing you so much closure. Oh my goodness, you're gonna be so happy what's being said to you, what's coming back to you. It frees you. There's such a positive energy shift with this Mercury retrograde, which is not always the case, right? Okay, let's see. Focus on goals. Yes, where you've been held back, that creative fire. It's time for major manifesting. It's time. You're going to stand out. What held you back is no longer an issue because you've completed, and now this retrograde energy just cleans it all up and you move forward. And look, don't worry, better times are ahead for you. So that is excellent. Now, with Neptune, I just want to pull some more cards here just to go a little deeper about Neptune and that personal awareness that we are all going to come into. Oh, kitty. Why you gotta be bad, kitty? Okay, we have the Six of Cups. So this is a big review of your past and seeing yourself and your choices and your role in a much different light than you have previously. And now we have the Five of Wands. So where you've been really in conflict internally, like the good versus the bad, you're finally going to come into balance, into order, all right? And now look at this, the Naked Heart, deep healing and purification coming in, you know, at your soul, which just changes you. You are becoming somebody completely brand new through this retrograde season, and these eclipses that are going to come through in June through June 5th to July 5th are just going to be like the icing on the cake of all of this. But this is almost like you are being, you know, reborn. The naked heart, all the darkness, the shadow falling away, falling to the wayside, and you like transforming into the butterfly and leaving it behind. You've learned your lessons, you've done your work, and now it is time to move on and move forward. So let's pull some extra information about some of the things. All of these could apply, or one or two, so let's just see. And this is what's coming forth. We have affirm. Create your own affirmations. Think of words or phrases that inspire you and write them down. So this is saying be in a positive mindset. Trust the path that you are on and everything that is unfolding. Passion, and this goes back to your inspiration to make a big change, or your creative talents and abilities. Passion isn't confined to sexual energy. Life is meant to be felt. Don't hold back. Really dive in to your heart space. And some of you may have felt a bit disconnected and cut off just because of, you know, what you've been through. And now we have energy. Try to keep a positive energy by surrounding yourself with positive people. And so this is talking about, you know, those certain relationships and situations that have fallen away or will fall away, and they need to. They're part of that Scorpio energy, the Pluto going retrograde, and that Scorpio full moon, the purge, so the phoenix can rise from the ashes. And now we have teach. You have a wonderful gift for working with others. Have you considered teaching? That is a big confirmation for some of you out there. Skills. It's time to learn some new skills, study a course, or start a new hobby. Another beautiful confirmation from the messages we've already received. Ground. It's time to ground and center your energy by be truly present in your life. Don't think of the past and what didn't unfold. Don't look too far ahead in the future. Be very present right now today and work with what you have right now today, and it will grow and it will build and it will manifest into so much more. And now we have flow. You need more flexibility in your life. Allow yourself to go with the flow. Don't get too caught up in your head. Really listen to your soul over these next 3 months and see where it's leading you. See where it wants to take you. All right, so let's, all right, that wants to come out. Let's pull some advice. We have make real progress by pushing aside perfection and never looking back. Yes. Work with what you have right now with where you are today, and so much will happen and change. You've just got to put one foot in front of the other. Dismiss thoughts that don't lead to the garden of infinite possibilities. You need to think big. You need to believe in yourself, and this retrograde energy is going to help with that. Just because of the way different blessings and karmic energies are balancing, the way it's aligned for you over these next 3 months, it's going to really help you with this. Next is reach, stretch, breathe, believe. What can you let go of to feel maximum joy? And that's that Scorpio energy. What must be left behind? What must be purged? And lastly, we have you are willing and able and won't give in or stop hoping. Enjoy your journey to love. Ooh, and that's a special message for those of you that have really been in the struggle in regards to romantic love. It's going to happen. So much is changing during this retrograde season and the eclipses. I'll just tell you quickly, we have the full moon in Sagittarius. It's a lunar eclipse on June 5th. We have the new moon annular solar eclipse in, it's like right on the cusp of Leo and Cancer on June 21st. And then on July 5th, we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn. Now, the full moon in Scorpio is on May 5th, 6th. That's our, last normal moon before we go into eclipse season. And then the first normal moon after, the eclipses is the new moon in Cancer on July 20th. So this energy really is for this Scorpio full moon, May 5th or May 6th, 7th through this Cancer new moon on July 20th, completing the cycle of the retrograde season and the eclipse season. And we have only 2 more eclipses, and those don't happen until the end of the year. So May, June, July is a very powerful time. Major changes, a lot of transformation, things shifting quite abruptly, truths being exposed, things just coming to light, you having major epiphanies about yourself, about your journey, about your worth. And there is an element of spiritual awakening that's taking place through these energies as well. It just depends, you know, who you are and where you are on your journey. But all in all, this retrograde season and eclipse season looks to be very positive. There's going to be a lot of shakeups. There may be some painful endings or painful truths that we have to come into and accept. But through that process, it's for the transformation, which is leading you to your highest potential. So those are the energies that are playing out, and, you know, use them, utilize them to their fullest extent for your journey. And who you are at the beginning of May is not going to be who you are at the end of July. All right, so those are your messages for this retrograde season. I do apologize again for my kitties crashing the reading a little bit, but now that we are wrapping up and they're being quiet, it's very synchronistic to me, where there's all this beautiful energy playing out. There's a couple interruptions, but that goes back to that Scorpio energy. What must be faced, purged, released, healed, whatever it is for you. So there is a couple of disruptions, and that's just part of the journey. So don't freak out and think it's all falling apart. The way, however that plays out, just accept it for what it is. And because there is so much soul evolution that's taking place from all you've been through, the insight is just like naturally coming to you, and you feel much more grounded and on solid footing than you did before. All right. And I will be putting out a video specifically about these eclipses, because again, they are an energy all on their own and they deserve a full reading. So those are your messages. I am sending each and every one of you lots of love and light. Take care.